It's not just the scale of mountains that makes them a daunting place to work in. The wildlife is scarce and extremely hard to find. And it doesn't come any harder than finding and filming the snow leopard. Scientists can spend years in the field with barely even a sighting of this rare creature. Planet Earth sent one of the toughest cameramen in the business to begin a 3-year quest to film it.
So, I guess this is where you could say it really starts. We're up here in snow leopard country. You look around and anywhere, anytime, you might just see it. These are big, big mountains, and there are not many snow leopards. There it is. There's home entrance for the next wee while. If I take you inside, I'll show you the amenities. Very much 5-star. It's actually, I think, quite comfy. There's the bed, and I've got pretty much everything I need. There's thumb stock. I brought some water up from the river. True it. It's a little bit cramped, but it's quite enough. And all I need now are 1 or 2 pussycats.
As an insurance policy, the crew set up remote camera traps.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, Doug.
These cameras are triggered by movement and capture images of any passerby.
About a good snow leopard?
No, but if a snow leopard does what you did, that'll be jolly good.
But to stand a chance of filming any behaviour, Doug just has to sit in a hide and wait.
This is tedious stuff. This is the 7th session that I've done. I do 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the late afternoon. Not a sign. If you got just a little bit of hint, a wee bit of a sighting, now and again your spirits would be lifted. But right now, I'd swap a little bit of this animal's charisma for a little bit more visibility.
Doug's hide is carefully positioned to give him the best view of the valley, just in case a snow leopard should turn up.
"5 days. That's 35 hours of watching. Nothing. No cats." Yeah, of course, it's boring. It's boring as hell.
After 7 weeks of patiently sitting and waiting, these distant shots are all that Doug managed to film from the hide. But luckily, the remote cameras proved to be more successful. Whilst even a few shots of snow leopard in the wild are thrilling to see, the crew was still far from having a sequence of behaviour. Planet Earth needed to take another risk and move to a new location. Unfortunately, where they hoped to search for snow leopard, others were already searching for Al-Qaeda.
Any American hunter.
This is the location in the war against terror.
Healthy and dangerous.
Only news crews were given access until the political situation became more stable. One year later, Planet Earth was finally allowed into Pakistan. They faced a week-long trek through terrain that was not only politically but geologically unstable.
BBC has put us through 2 days of sort of safety training. Sort of went from landmine clearing to hijack attempt, and actually having watched the Markhor, which we're trying to film, climb these cliffs that we're on today, the most terrifying thing is these sort of football-sized rocks that keep flying past at head height. You just think, actually can't prepare for that sort of thing. Getting knocked on the head by a big rock. Quite scary, really.
But it turned out to be worth all the risk. The crew were in promising snow leopard terrain and soon finding plenty of signs that they were around.
How old do you think that one is?
We just got a lot of snow, and we'll be able to track the snow leopard, and so we'll have a lot better chance of filming it. So it's just fantastic.
Good news for tracking, but the snow would make it far harder to get around. To increase their chances of finding a snow leopard, the crew split up, leaving Mark to spend Christmas on his own.
It's going to be the first Christmas and New Year I've spent away from my family. I spoke to my wife and kids last night. They were just about to go out carol singing around the village. It would have been nice to have been with them. However, that's it really.
Although Mark woke to a white Christmas, there was no sign of the present that he had most been wishing for. He had to wait 5 days before he heard any more news.
We just got a report that there's a snow leopard up on the ridge. We're too low where we were before, so just trying to get some height to get a better view of it. People on the radio said it was just up the valley on the cliff on the left here.
Finally, Mark was rewarded with his first ever glimpse.
I looked up onto the ridge. I could see this leopard-shaped rock, which I've seen a million times before. And I looked through binoculars, and it was a leopard just sat there. And I said, leopard, leopard, and they went, Markhor, look at it. It was perched, like, just on the top of the rock, and it looked down at us and sort of sat down in a sort of sphinx-like posture. Came down very quickly, and it's in a cave just up here, about 100 metres away above us. And we've just got to stake it out now and wait.
Mark's patience had paid off. News of his success quickly reached the tracking team.
Snow leopard! Snow leopard! Hey!
I can't tell you how relieved I am. This is just the best news ever. And tomorrow's New Year's Eve, so I think we're going to party like there's no tomorrow. No excuses, I think, on this one. Unbelievable. I couldn't be happier.
The crew were lucky enough to spend 2 whole weeks with this snow leopard and her cub, capturing intimate details of their lives in this extremely remote location. But the final day of filming was to bring the best luck of all. Planet Earth's 3-year quest ended with this extraordinary footage. A wild snow leopard hunt, something few humans have ever even seen.